Hello everyone, today in this video we'll be discussing the module 5 of Python, and in this video we'll be discussing about the web scraping, means getting the text from the web, and about the Excel spreadsheets and documents and PDF. Okay, so we'll be discussing these topics in this module, and if you like this video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Okay, so let's get started with the first topic, which is web scraping. In the web scraping, what is the main concept is that if we have to there is a web page. Okay, suppose that there is a web page here and it has some information about cars. Okay, so this is the cars image and the cars information is here. The cars, what is the company name and the date of manufacture, what is the color, those things are present here. Okay, so if you want what Python some arguments. Okay, means for example, in that we'll be passing the argument, means which address we want to see the map, that address will be passing and the output will be that map location. Okay, so in this module what does the program do is gets an address from the command line arguments. As I told, in the interpreter you will be writing the address which you want to view, and it opens the web browser to the Google Maps page for the address, means that address, what location is there in the Google Map, it will be opened. Okay, so how can we achieve this one? First, read the command line arguments from the sys.argv and read the clipboard contents and call the web browser.open function to open the web browser. Okay, so we have to basically run this command, which is map it, then this is the address which we want to see, then in the address we will be storing this value, along with that we will be joining the value of the argument passed here from the systems.argument. So in address we will have the address which we want to display, then we will be using web browser.open and we will be passing in that with the Google's URL and slash maps slash space place plus address. Okay, so the URL will be replaced with whatever address we pass and that will be opened. Okay, moving on, we have the next topic, which is downloading a web page from the with the request.get function. Okay, so request is a module and inside that module we have the function get. Okay, by using this we will be downloading a web page. So the request.get function takes the string of URL to download. So the URL in which that web page is present, that will be specified here, and that will be stored in res. The first step is to get the URL, then check if the URL is true, means that and if it's true, then print the and checking for errors, you can use this function result dot raise for status. Okay, it raises an exception if there was an error downloading the file, and will do nothing if the download was succeeded. Okay, and in case you have to save in our hard disk, what we can do is we can use this URL, store it in result, and then open that URL here, and after that for chunk in result.iteration we will be iterating the whole website here, whatever content is there, and we will be writing in the play file. Play file is nothing but inside that hard disk, it's a file we will be reading from the module and we will be storing in the hard disk. Okay, coming to the next one, which is HTML. This is the sample web page here. So things which you can observe here are, this is the top bar of the web page, and here you can use that bar for searching some queries, or you can go back, or all the content. This is the title, and here we have the paragraph, and after that here is some image and the temperature. Okay, so each of these is a content. Okay, this one content, this one content, this another content, and so on. Okay, so each of these content to display we have to write some code. Okay, like we'll be using some tags. Okay, for example, the thing which you can see here, 59° Fahrenheit, which is nothing but, if you want to display that, we'll be writing this one. object, okay, and this is closed here. So we'll be using these tags here to display whatever content we want to display. And why it is at the bottom? That's because we have written some more content here which is displayed on top of it, okay. After this gets displayed, then only we'll be writing this one, okay. This is how you specify the order, okay. So this is nothing but the name of the class, and what we want to display will be writing here, okay. And parsing HTML with Beautiful Soup. Beautiful Soup is a module which you can import to do the web scraping in a much more efficient manner. Let's see how we can use Beautiful Soup object, okay. So here first we will be creating a Beautiful Soup object from the HTML by importing the request and sys modules, and we will be getting the URL here, and then we will be checking for the error status. If it, then we will research, it will be associated with it. Suppose that this is the object of Beautiful Soup, we have created this for the particular web page result.txt. Now we have to extract the information from here. How can we do that? Is find the element with the select method. We will be using the select method to select what element we want to display, okay. So we will be importing bs4, which is the Beautiful Soup's module name, and in example file we will be opening that HTML, and we will be having the object here example soup, and after that we will be selecting author. Wherever the hashtag author is there, that will be selected and stored in this variable, okay. And after that we will be using the lms of 0.getTxt. So after we have stored the whatever was present in the author hashtag, that will be stored in lms, and when we try to print lms of 0.getTxt, what will happen is in the first part of the text what was stored, that will be printed. Now if we print it in the form of a string, then the whole string will be printed, means in along with the tags, okay. So if you get the txt, if you write get txt, that will just print the text of it, else we will get the whole string, okay. You can also use the you can also pull the p tag elements from the Beautiful Soup object, okay. For example, if you have written like this example soup dot select p, so whatever the p tag has the content in it, along with the tags, that will be displayed, okay. That will be stored in plms. If you try to print str of plms, that will be printed as of 0, okay, means the first tag which we encountered as p, that will be displayed, okay. This is the first tag which was encountered as p, okay, this whole thing till here, okay. If we write get text, at that time it will print the text part of it, okay. In the same way plms of 1 means the next p tag will be displayed, which is present here. So that's how you get the text from the web page using the Beautiful Soup object, okay. Moving on, we have the controlling the browser with the Selenium module. Selenium is used to make the access and the optimization of the web page more in a much more efficient manner. To open a web page using Selenium, we will be importing Selenium WebDriver, okay. Firefox and browser.get whatever URL you want to search, we can directly give the command from the browser.get what URL you want to search for, and which is the search engine, okay. Finding the elements on the page, we are importing the WebDriver here, and after that the web browser is specified, the URL is specified, then try lm is equal to browser.find element by class name book cover. So which it will be, okay. Yeah, we can directly click on the page, means this is the web page, we can directly click whatever we want, okay. But if you want to select something using the command line, what we will be doing is we will be creating the the previous steps till specification of URL. After that link element is equal to online. If you click this, it will open a different browser, right. So whatever browser it opens, that if you want to store in somewhere, that will be storing in link element, okay. And after that we will be writing the code link element dot click, so it will be opening the, so that's for clicking the page. And the next one is finding out and submitting forms. So sometimes value and submit. So if you want to access this form and fill the values, what we will be doing is we will be doing the same thing till the URL part, and after that email element is equal to find element by id email, wherever the class id is email, that will be pointed out and that will be stored here. Then we are sending keys. Sending keys means what here, not my email which we are sending here. And after that password element also we are first we are selecting element. We need to do the left operation, right operation, like up and down arrow keys, space bar and all. That and all we will be using special keys, okay, like keys dot down, keys dot up. If you want to do the if you want to go to the left part of the web page, we will be specifying the key keys dot left, okay. If you want to insert a tab, we will be writing keys dot tab, okay. So here we will be doing the same thing, send keys, keys dot end scrolls to the top, and keys dot home scrolls to the here it's top and here it's bottom, okay. Clicking the browser buttons. So if you want to go back in the web page, in the top it will be there, right, in the which you had visited and came back. So to go there and all, we will be using browser dot back, forward, refresh and quit, okay. So that was about the web scraping. The next one is we need to know some concepts about the Excel spreadsheet, okay. So this is the Excel document here. Here we can see some things which are, this is a sheet, this single thing is a sheet here, and inside that we have the rows and columns. This is the rows, row 1, row 2, row 3, and column A, column B, column C. In that way we will be in that way the sheet structure is, okay, in the Excel spreadsheet. And the cells are the intersection of and this is the and which will be stored with the extension .xlsx, okay. PyXL. OpenPyXL is the module name. So we will be using this module name to work with the Excel spreadsheets. So to load the workbook, we will be writing the function load workbook and typing the name here. And to get the sheets from the workbook, what we will be doing is we will be using get sheet underscore nums. And to specify a single sheet, we will be writing the sheet name. Getting cells from the sheets, what we will be doing, we will be writing a1 dot value. A1 means column A and the row 1, whatever value is present in that spreadsheet, that will be displayed, okay. And if you want to print, like by using a for loop, you can do that, iterate it, means in the rows and the columns, iterate it one by one and print what is the values in the cells, okay. The next one is converting between column letters and numbers, okay. So to convert the column letter into a number, we will be writing what is the column letter for 1, it is A. What is the column letter for column number for A, it is 1. That will be for the conversion. A for loop, which row and the column you want, that will be displaying from A1 to C3 I want. See, this is the A1 to C3, this is A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. A1 is this one and C3 is this one. From here till here I want everything. So this will be displayed, okay. Then we are printing each one by one. What is the value in each of, okay. So here are the values. In A1 this is stored, and in B1 C1, A2 C2 B2, and A3 C3 and B3, okay. That will be displayed. Writing to the Excel documents, we can change the title and the save the spreadsheet. So for that, what we'll be doing, we'll be writing sheet is equal to web.get active sheet. First we are getting the sheet, and after that we'll change the title as whatever we want to change, that will be changing here in the upcoming part here of the code. And after that, when we get the sheet name, it will show as whatever we stored here, okay. Before that it was sheet, now it is spam back on X and sheet, okay. And finally, if you have to save, we will be using wb.save, okay. The next one is creating and removing sheets. Okay, so we'll be importing the module and get the sheet here, and to create a sheet we'll be writing you will be using the function dot create underscore sheet, and to remove we'll be using the function which is uh, remove sheet. Okay, to write the values to the cell you just have to mention in which cell you want to write. For example, A1 means the first row and the first column. This is A1, what you have to write, that you will specify here, and if you want to print that value you will be printing it. Okay, if you want to change your font you have to import a module called, and then you will be changing the style. Okay, then that will be applied to the sheet. So first is whatever font you want, you have to specify here. For example, size is equal to 24 and italic is equal to true. So it will set the font as italic and the size will be 24. That will be stored in the style as a style object, and that will be applied to sheet A. Then you have to save it. So this is how you set the styles and save the sheet with the new style. The other options like bold also, and after executing this code the output will be as follows. You will have one text here with bold text, and second is italic. Okay, also you can use some formulas by using which you can calculate the sum and the average or the maximum or the minimum count, just as in SQL, right? So the where you want to calculate it, that we have to specify. For example, in the ninth cell what we have to do is the sum of the first 8 rows. So what will that sum B1 to B8 using colon B1 to B8, that should be stored in B9. So that will be stored here, and we can do the other complex formulas as well. By using this we can write multiple formulas also, and if you want to adjust the rows and the columns, means setting the height and the column setting the row height or the column height or the width of row and column, you can use the functions which are set column dimensions and height or width you want to specify and what is the value. If you do this, the output will be as follows. You will have a row here with a height which you have specified, and the white column means this is the A column and this is the B column. See, this is the column which is wider than the previous column, so that will be displayed. Okay, and after that we have the merging and unmerging cells. Merging means joining together. If you want to merge the cells, what we will do is we will use merge cells command. Okay, so here which cells you want to merge, from A1 to D3. From A1 to D3 all will be merged. Okay, and two merge cells for C1 to C5 to D5. Okay, so that will be also merged. Okay, so this is how you merge the cells. Suppose that in some cases we want to insert some image here, right? At that time we will be merging the cells. Okay, freezing the cells you select for freezing, and the top row of it and the left part of it will be freezed. Okay, for example, if I want to freeze the upper row of this one, I will be specifying A2. A2 means above this one whatever is there it will be freezed. Okay, and you can create charts by using the specific functions, create reference table, and you can create the bar graphs also and other types of graphs, and also you can append those. Okay, appending means all the three things will be visible in the same font. Okay, means first you have created this one, right? This is the reference table, and after that you have created the chart. If you want to append this one, you can use dot append function, and final result will be the first thing which you have outputted, and after that the second thing output, this will be appended. Okay, and after that you are using the bar chart, and finally you will be appending those. Okay, append series dot object, and after that you will be adding the chart object to the main file. Okay, after that we have the PDF documents and Word documents. Okay, so here also we will be doing the same operations like writing to the PDF, the files from it, merging the PDF, and extracting the text and other things from the PDF. Okay, so to extract the text from the PDF, first we have to import the PDF module, that is py pdf2. After that you will be opening which PDF you want. Okay, and by using this function here, PDF file reader, you will be reading the content of it, and then you can perform the operations. Like if you want to display the number of pages here, you will be displaying by using the function num pages, or if you want to get what is the text in it, you will be using extract text. Okay, so that will be displayed here, and in the same way you can decrypt the PDF. If it's encrypted, what you will do is you will type the decryption code and you will be writing dot decrypt function, and after that you will be able to see the content. Okay, open what is the file name, and after that if the file name is not present, it will be created, and after that you can add the content. Okay, by using this for loop, what we are doing is we are getting each page here and adding the PDF. Okay, and that will be written whatever the content is there in the previous PDF, and that will be called the new PDF. Okay, after we have done that, we will be outputting the file here and opening and seeing the content here. Okay, means by using these lines of code, we will be outputting the content by using get text from the PDF. Okay, if you want to rotate the PDF file from 0 to 90 degree, you will be rotating anti-clockwise or clockwise, and degree will be mentioned here. Okay, suppose that you want to save that file, means the change dimension of that file in a new file, you will be using the result file here to store that new PDF, and after that you will be closing the suppose that there are two pages, the first page has a star and a circle, and second page has a square. If between these two, like for example sometimes we do right in watermark, adding watermark to our pages, we can use the function which is basically we have to merge the files, right? So we'll be using the function merge page. Okay, and this for displaying the files after we have merged the files, and don't forget to write what is the content here in the file and save it. Okay, after you have done all the operations, close the objects which you have created. Okay, to encrypt the PDF, what we have to do is firstly we have to open the file, we have to encrypt, and after that we have to add the pages in that PDF file, and after that what you have to do is we have to use a code word. The code word is used with encryption, and after that when we have done that one, we have to save that file and close it. Okay, in the first page it will be like the PDF information, but what you have to do is you have to just create a one page here, means for the introduction of the whole PDF file, and after that the other files will be merged here. So in each of these merging of the files, I don't want that the first page should be included. Okay, so what I will be doing, except the first page, I will be starting from page number 1, because the when you are stored at index 0, if you want to start from 1, you have to exclude this one. Okay, so we'll be starting from 1 till how many number of pages are there. So there are a few steps for it. First, find all PDF file which you want to include. Okay, by using this function we can find out that one. Add each page, which pages we want, from 1 till pdf.num pages, means how many pages are there from one first page. 1 means not first page, it's second page, because 0 is the first page. That will be added here. Save the results. Okay, after that you have to, don't forget, you have to write it and then the closing operation. Okay, what you have to write a import docs, and then if you want to store the content of it in some variable, you have to use dot document and the document name. That will be stored in doc, and you can perform the operations like how many paragraphs are there, what is the length of it, and what is the first word of it, what is the first paragraph of it, and so on. Okay, if you want to get the full text from a doc file, you have to use the append and the join function, and then display it. Okay, so all the content of the file will be displayed. Okay, and don't forget to include the read. So by default we get the attributes of the name and the size and all. If you want to create Word document with non-default, we can specify the attributes like bold, italic, underline, strike, all caps, and so on. Okay, whichever we want we can use that. Okay, for example, paragraph once dot runs dot text. So whatever font you have specified, that particular value which you have selected, that will be changed. Okay, in that particular font. To write the Word document, you have to write add paragraph or add sentence, add word, and whatever you want to add. Okay, so that output will be as follows. And adding the headings, you can use the function dot add heading, and the size can be specified here as the second argument. And after that we have the line and the page breaks. Suppose that we have written a text here like hello, my name is Afnan, and but I want like hello, my name is, then Afnan should be present here, so I can add a line break at the end. Okay, and page break can be used to separate the two pages, and for that we will be using the /n operation. Okay, to add the pictures you can use the add picture function. Same form you will be converted by /n. Okay, this is the CSV file. If you want to import export the contents, you will be using the .csv file. Okay, and the JSON data is used to store for a dictionary. For example, if you want to read the data from CSV, we will be using the import CSV module, and then we will be using the .reader function. Which file you want to read, that should be stored in a object, and that object will be passed argument of the reader function. Okay, and then we will be listing the contents here. So that will be displayed as follows, as comma separated values, and to read the data from the reader object using a for loop, you can use that also for each row in the example reader to print the row and the content of the row. Okay, and after that if you want to write some value to using the write row function, whichever row we want to add to the CSV file, we will be specifying what we want to add, and after that we will be passing to the write row function. Okay, as I told earlier, delimiter and the line terminator are the keyword arguments which are used to separate the lines and the pages, and by using these two keyword arguments we can specify how actually the data should be stored. Okay, so the delimiter is the character that appears between the cells on a row. So between the cells on a row, if you want to maintain a gap between the cells and separate the content from separate the content of both of the cells, we can use the delimiter. Else the terminator is the character that comes at the end of the row. Okay, after a row has display the line, we will be using the line terminator. For the delimiter you can use /t. For the line terminator use /n. Okay, for example, if you have to display these values, apples and oranges and grapes all has been separated by a /t, right, because space is there in between. And the next row, if you want to specify the I have to add line terminator after grapes. Okay, else what will happen, eggs, bacon and ham will be placed here, right. I don't want that, I want it to be a separate row, so I'll be specifying the line terminator. We have a small project here. What is our task is remove the headers from the CSV file. For example, any program is there, the first row will be the header files, right. If you want to remove the header files from the CSV file, what we have to do, just skip that line which has the line number 1. Okay, first open the CSV file by using the CSV object, and after that traverse through each of these files and don't include that line which is having line number as 1. Okay, and copy the remaining content in the new file. Okay, so that is how you do the task which is like removing the header from the CSV files. And after that let's discuss about the JSON and the API. JSON's example is like this. Here will be the key, here will be the value, comma separated key and the value, and it will be in between the opening and the closing braces. Okay, application send and receive data in JSON format. So whatever app you have like WhatsApp, Facebook and all, your data is there, right. What is your name, age and what is your phone number and all, that will be passed in this form, in the JSON form. Okay, so name will be passed as here, and your age, your phone number and your address, those things will be as the key values, and those things will be the keys. What will be the values is your name, your address, your phone number and all. Okay, for reading the JSON format you have to use the JSON.loads function. Okay, so this is the string here. If you want to read it, you can use the JSON.loads function, and then it will be displayed here. Okay, and if you want to write to the JSON format, it will translate the Python value into a string of JSON formatted data. Firstly, create a dictionary in Python, whatever you want to add to the JSON folder. After that, you have to pass the dictionary in the dumps function, and after that, when you display it, it will be displayed as JSON format. Okay, and fetching the weather data API. The first step is to download the JSON data from the open weather map orgs API. Okay, after that, load the JSON data into the Python variable. Firstly, we are fetching the data from the weather API, and after that, we are loading the data into the Python module. How we will do that is, first specify the URL, get the URL's data and store it in a variable. After that, you have to change it into the Python variable, right? To convert into a Python value, call the JSON.loads function. JSON.loads change the Python to the JSON, and JSON.dumps will change the Python value to the JSON value. Okay, don't get confused between both of these. Okay, after we have got the Python value for the JSON, use that values to display what is the temperature, and if it's humid or if it's raining, and what is the overall temperature of the specific location. Those things can be displayed. Okay, so basically what we did is, first we got the data in the form of JSON. We converted the JSON data into Python data, and after that we can display with the specific words like the weather is this much, and the temperature is this much, and if it's rainy or humid, and so on. Okay, so this is all about the module 5 of Python, and let's now discuss about the previous questions. We have the first question, like the HTML using regular expression with an example program. Okay, so suppose that the web page is this one, and we have to parse this web page, and we have to extract some data. Okay, so for example, we can extract the URL present here by using the Python code. Okay, so what we can do is we can write the regular expression as http:// and after that we have dot, then plus and question mark. Okay, so by using this we can extract things present from HTTP, and that we can display in the result. Okay, so when we write the code, we will import the URL lib and the request, parse and error, and after that we are importing the regular expression. Then the URL is entered, and that will be stored in HTML. Then in the links we will store all the matching expressions. Okay, so after matching all the expressions starting from HTTP, we have stored in links and by one. Okay, so whichever links we have found in the web page given, and that will be displayed here. Okay, so that was about the first question. The second one is how to get 4 strings using API and store in a Python file. So I don't know exactly how to get the 4 strings exactly, but I will be giving you an overview of how you can fetch something from an API using the JSON, and after that convert into a Python code and store in a file. So for example, we will create a file datastore.py, and then import the modules URL lib and JSON URL. So that will be stored in URL. What we have done, we have just created a file here in which we will be storing the final data. These are the modules imported, and we need to have the URL, and then we will be requesting from the URL. Okay, we get the data from the response.read, and we create a empty JSON file, and in that file we will be storing the data which we have retrieved. So in the file object we will have the data in the JSON format, and since it's in the JSON format, it needs to be converted into string. That we will do by JSON.loads. Okay, so new data will be stored in JSON.loads. By using that function, we will convert the data from the object to the string type, and then we will be storing the string data in the get articles. Now after we have got the string data, that should be converted into Python, right? So to convert into Python, we will be using JSON.dumps. Okay, so this will convert the string format into Python format, and that will be stored you have created earlier, and in that we will be writing the whichever data we have retrieved. Okay, means new data articles, and finally we will be closing the file. So this is how you retrieve the data from the API using the JSON and convert it into a Python file. Okay, the third question is, write a Python program to retrieve the user's Twitter friends and parse the return JSON and extract some of the information about the friends. So suppose that this is the Twitter URL of your friend and your friend has some biodata here. What you have to do is you have to write a code to retrieve that data and store in a Python file. Okay, for that first the authentication is done, consumer key and consumer secret and token key and token secret. Okay, so that will be getting by the developer option in the Twitter. Okay, and the account of which the information of, and then will be being retrieved and the data will be stored in the URL. Okay, means from that URL whatever data we retrieved. Okay, so after retrieving the data, convert into a JSON file, and after that convert the object which is in the JSON file to a string file, and that will be printing here. After using JSON dumps, it will become the Python format and which data we want of the user. For each user, what you have to do is you have to print the screen name, text and description. Okay, means what is the screen name of that user, and what is the text of that user, and what is the description of that user. Okay, text specifically means what is the status of that user, and description means the user's information. So by using this for loop, we will be able to print the friends information. Okay, coming to the fourth question, we have to retrieve a web page from the we have to retrieve our web page using Python and count the frequency of each word. Okay, retrieving the file is already discussed in the theoretical topics, so you can refer to that. And counting the frequency of the word, this is the code. You have to import counter module, and in that we have to enter the file name. Okay, after we have entered the file name, we have to open that and return how many times the count has occurred, that word has occurred. That will be counting with using the function word count, and will be returning what is the count value of it. Okay, and for each of the will question which is what is in the web errors, how to save the downloaded file into the hard drive. These four exact questions are discussed in the theoretical topics. Okay, the same thing, how to explain in detail how to parse the HTML with beautiful soup module discussed, and the final question which is the how to work with the Excel spreadsheets in Python, explain briefly. This question has already been discussed in the theoretical topics in much detail, so you can refer to that. Okay, so that's all from the 18 CS 55 of Python, and thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.